Welcome again to my channel. On today's vlog, I just have a few tips to share with you to help you succeed in your workplace. Here in Canada, there are hard skills and there are soft skills, along with how you also incorporate yourself within the workspace. And it's very important because you need to know how to use those soft skills to your best advantage. Hard skills are easy to measure, they are easy to track, might be a bit difficult to improve, but soft skills are harder to actually track and to measure. And of course, learning them is also a big concern. So I'll be sharing with you what you need to do or how to learn these soft skills to your very best advantage, as these are critical and important items for your success in your workplace. Number one, I would say that you need to be coachable. A successful person does not get to the top by going alone or ignoring the constructive feedback that they receive from people along the ladder. On the other hand, they incorporate all this feedback and use it for their own good success. As you internalize good advice, please disregard the bad ones, because I won't come here and tell you that every advice that comes along your journey to success is actually a good advice. So you should be discerning to know which one is bad that would not help you to succeed. The bottom line here is that you should be coachable, and this will help you throughout your journey or your success story in your organization. Never stop advancing or improving your skills, because someone that stops learning or growing is already dead. Then you feel that you've known it all, which is totally wrong and a very bad perspective to have in a workplace. So no matter how young or how old anybody is within your workplace, especially within your team, they are there to also help you in that journey or in that success story that you will share at the end of your career. So be coachable and always learn to improve your skills along your journey. Now let's talk about how to achieve it. I'm sure you'll be asking me, how do I remain coachable throughout my career? I would say don't take constructive feedback personally. Otherwise, you have a hard time being coached. Always remind yourself that the other person is there to help you professionally and not to bring you down. At least give them the benefit of the doubt until you actually find out that they are probably an enemy to your progress. But always give them the benefit of the doubt that whatever constructive feedback that comes your way is meant to help you in your journey to succeed. So what I mean is that while you're giving them the benefit of the doubt with whatever they are sending across to you, your ability to know or accept it from a good place helps you be more receptive to their recommendation. Come on, let's say this. We all do not know everything, even in our place of work. And when people see some attributes in you that they feel needs to be coached, they will approach you in that way. So be receptive, be coachable, and take all this in good faith so that you would be able to excel in that role. Number two, I would say show empathy in your place of work. Your ability to relate with everyone does wonders in your relationship in your place of work. Your ability to be patient, to be tactful, to be persuasive goes a long way to help you relate better with people around you. You're not the kind of person that every little thing gets at you, and people are always conscious to know how to relate with you because you are not that kind of person. Every little thing you read meanings to, every little thing you are offended, then you are not showing empathy to other people as well. With empathy as well, you are showing concern, you are showing consideration to people. Sometimes some people come with some attitudes or they come with some excuses your way, but your ability to show empathy, understanding, the place of empathy is for you to be able to acknowledge what they are saying. You are telling them that you understand, you feel what they are feeling. You appreciate that they've come to you to be able to share this with you, and you empathize with them. You show due concern. Then you recommend solutions for them, or at least you give them that breather that they require for them to be able to heal, to take time off, have time for family, or any other thing. It could be even in the place of their work or their duty. You're showing empathy because they do not understand something, and you come to explain to them in a language that they understand. This is empathy. You're showing concern. You're showing consideration. It's a very good virtue for you as an employee in a place of work. So how do you achieve this if you don't show empathy, or if you don't know how to show empathy? Just see yourself in the other person's shoes. We say, look at it in the person's eye, the way the person sees it. So you're looking at it in their own way of seeing things. That's how to show empathy. You're feeling, yes, you're not exactly in that position, but you feel what they are feeling. Literally, you can assume that you are in those shoes. When they're explaining the situation of or circumstances to you, you just assume that you are in those shoes and you understand what they feel, how they see things. You just show consideration. So show empathy by seeing things in other people's point of view. Number 3, I would say, have effective communication. Truth be told, we all speak or talk, however you want to say it. We speak to one another, or we talk to our fellow colleagues. We are communicating with our team members, with our customers, with our stakeholders. We are constantly communicating. And if we leave our homes to go to work, well, it depends on the kind of role. If you're in customer service, for instance, you're probably spending like 80% of the time communicating with clients that are calling for one question or one resolution or the other. If you're a project manager, you're also trying to reconcile accounts. You're trying to understand your stakeholders' perspective. Your team members are putting things right for you to be able to have your presentations. So you're constantly communicating. If you're a doctor, you are seeing your patient, asking them, can you feel this way? Is this how you feel? And you're constantly communicating. So for you to be able to avoid misunderstanding, which can come up with communication, your communication needs to be very clear. You must present it clearly and effectively. Speak it as clear as possible so that the other person is understanding what exactly you mean without assumptions. If you must, please put it in writing. If you have to also clarify the things that have been said to you, you can email it back to your supervisor. These are the key points that I picked from what you have asked me to do. Is that right? You're reiterating it back so that you know that the communication is clear and it has been accepted effectively. So you're doing exactly what has been asked that you do. It's wrong for a communication to be received in assumption, meaning that when someone says something to you, you assume that the person actually understands what I have said. So many people are in these shoes because, especially a manager to a supervisor or to a colleague, they just speak, give information or give task or things that they need completed within a specific time, or they just say things without giving timelines, and the other person just receives it, takes his time to complete the things that has been said because there was no set timelines, or maybe the communication was not as effective as it should be. You have not really communicated when the other person has not received it completely and effectively. How do you achieve effective communication if you are naturally not a good speaker? It's not everyone that can probably speak in front of a large crowd or even a small team or do some presentations for people. Yeah, everybody at some point had a first attempt that we probably were jittery, we were muttering words together, and we're confused about, are we saying what we're meant to say to the people that are listening? But most importantly, it comes naturally when you practice. That means you must practice your public speaking. You can speak in front of a mirror. You can do something like, I'm speaking, it looks absurd. You're speaking into a camera, and just try to make sure that your communication is effective. That is most important, because a communication that is not clear to the hearer is not a communication. You've not said anything because they've not received it well. You can also ask for feedback from your co-workers. I'm a very good proponent of feedback because I think it helps you be a better person. But some people look at it in another way by feel that you're feeling so insecure or you're not feeling as confident as possible with whatever task that you're doing. Depends on how you see it. But it just helps you checkmate whether you're doing things the right way and others are perceiving it in the same manner. So for instance, if you're communicating wrongly and people are finding it difficult to understand you, you're constantly asking how best Do you want me to communicate with you? You know, those are areas in which could help you improve. If you have to take writing lessons or classes that would also enhance your skill, please go ahead and do. Because in this Canadian environment that we find ourselves, communication is key, is one of the highest sought out soft skill that you need to be able to succeed in your place of work. So don't take it for levity. Don't take it for granted. You must improve on it every time. And also knowing that there's always some slang, you know, the way things are spoken here that you also have to familiarize yourself with. Yes, we have our culture back at home, but here it's another ball game, and we have to keep evolving and understanding how things are said or the implications of things that are being said. Some words mean differently from your own natural community to this community that you have newly found yourself. So you need to be able to understand what a particular word means and how to say it right for better understanding. Number 4 soft skill that would encourage you to have to be able to succeed in your workplace will be critical thinking. And this is very vital in the workplace. This is you finding a better perspective or approach about doing things. You're looking for the best scenario, the best route, potential choices that make a situation better. You're just trying to look for a best scenario for a particular problem. So you're thinking, you know, it's not like you're worried, but you're constantly just looking for the best approach or the best way around a particular situation. In the workplace, there will always be situations that need a better perspective or a problem that arises and they need a solution to it. Critical thinking is it. Your ability to be able to probe further, to be able to see what other people are thinking or what their perspective is before having a holistic approach or final conclusion to a particular situation is very critical. So you must be analytical, and these are skills that also help you in business analytics, project management, some IT world, because you just have to be a solution guru. You're looking for solution, constantly looking for solution. And how do you look for solution if you're not thinking critically? You're finding solutions to a problem, then you must be looking for the best way out of a particular situation. So how do you achieve this if you are not a critical thinker? You must always be someone that asks a lot of questions. You're asking questions. Even if you think that you know the answer, you're putting yourself in the shoes of other people. You know, when we talked about empathy, you're asking their own point of view, trying to understand what they think, which also helps in collaboration in the workplace. So you're trying to find out their own point of view, and this helps you to be able to sum up all of this in one eventually. And if you think you know all the answers, you'll be surprised, because other people's perspective brought into the picture changes the whole game. And then you wonder, oh, somebody had this thought in his mind, or somebody brought this perspective to this particular problem. That's where teamwork, and if they have answers that conflict with your own answers, it just shows that you need to dive more into more questions, into unveiling what they're thinking about, how this aligns with the situation that is on ground, and then finding possible ways or middle ground whereby there would be a resolution or a final solution to the particular problem. No one is an island. You can't know the answer to every problem, and that's why teamwork is most important. Some people will have diverse responses, opinions that would even want to turn the table upside down, but it's your place to be able to also question basic assumptions. That's why I don't always like when people assume. Sometimes situations don't look the way they seem, and you assume and jump into conclusions, which is totally not the way to go. As a critical thinker, you must be asking questions. Don't assume. The person went to the bathroom 3 times. You assume he has a tummy ache. What if he didn't have a tummy ache? What if he just went to the bathroom to just see that his hair is well groomed or something? So your assumptions is not allowed in critical thinking. You must be able to ask questions to be able to verify the obvious. Number 5, I would say creativity. You need creativity in the workplace, and this mindset will help you a long way in your career path, because it's one of the soft skills that you need to be able to excel in the place of work. You need to be creative. You just can't remain the same. Companies evolve over the years, and there are always better ways to do things, to be able to save costs and to be able to improve some basic services within the company. So it is good that you are creative. Find better ways to be able to do things faster. You can't always be doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. We hear this over and over again in our training sessions. But it is also good that you as an individual, part of the soft skills that you should bring to the table is that you're creative. You're finding solutions in a very creative way, in a very easy to learn way, in a simple way, in a very clear and concise manner. And you're just being creative, finding ways around things. Creativity will also help you to stay above competition, because you will just be the one that other people are looking up to. You've been able to crack another way to do something differently or easily. Some other companies desire it and they just want to be the way you do your things. Also talking about creativity, if I have to streamline to YouTube and creators that create content, there are so many people that are so creative even in content creation on YouTube. And also as a YouTuber myself, I look at other people and the way they create their content to also put spice and flair into my own content. That's why they will always remain the top. I was watching somebody's YouTube channel and in 1 year she reached 100,000 subscribers. Isn't that creativity? And people keep going back to watch it. So she must be doing something differently from the way I'm doing it and other people are doing it. So that already has created a niche for her, and people like me will continue to follow her to be able to see what she has done different. So it's not just in the workplace, it is also diverse. But coming to the workplace where we're talking about soft skill, you need it to be able to excel. People would always want your own point of view. When they see the way you do things differently, they will constantly come to you to ask questions. We must have his own opinion first, because they can see it is obvious. And that's why creativity should be something that should be part of you in the workplace. So how do you achieve this if you are not a creative person? Like we talked about communication, like we talked about empathy, you need to be open. You need to be able to brainstorm. You need to be able to be open to other people's points of view. You need to be able to understand where their thoughts are coming out from. And that will help you in being creative, because creativity don't jump on people. It's what somebody has done plus what somebody else has done and the way somebody else is thinking that you bring together to be your own kind of creativity. So it is not alien to one person, or it will not just be a particular way of doing things or your own personal mindset, but a correlation of discussions, communication with people, understanding where they are coming from, questions, you are brainstorming, and all of this consummates into a very good and creative outcome. In the place of work, be open to brainstorming sessions. Put your team together, ask them a few questions, or you can put a topic down and let everyone bring their own opinion on the table. Whatever they are thinking, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no foolish question or foolish answer. Let everybody speak. And when you give that liberty or that room for people to be heard, you will find out that creativity comes out of each and every one of them, and it consummates into what the team has put together. And then people look and say, how come you guys came up with this idea? But it wasn't just one person's idea, but in a brainstorming session, when somebody says something, somebody sees it in another perspective, somebody brings a better light out of it, somebody says right, and then there is always a consensus at the end of that brainstorming session. So that's a way to be able to enhance your creativity in the place of work. My final soft skill that I will introduce to you that you must have in your workplace is problem solving skills. It is a skill and it is also an attitude. So I call it an attitude because it is the most important thing that determines success. Because when there's a problem to be solved in your workplace, the attitude that you bring to the table is very important. It's important that you stay positive in every situation, because as you begin to tackle those problems in the workplace, your attitude is as far important as that solution that you're looking for within that particular problem. And of course, this mindset will keep you motivated throughout the process of finding solutions to that particular situation or problem in your workplace, so that the solutions are easy to grasp. When the team have already, of course, we're still coming back to collaboration, asking questions, and having people bring out their own point of view within a particular team meeting, and that helps you to collaborate and put all these things together to find the solution that is required. How do you bring forward a problem-solving skill or attitude to the workplace? We know that when problems arise, it's always something that looks maybe insurmountable, something that shakes everybody or causes confusion, and there's always chaos in finding out exactly how to resolve this issue. So what is important for you is to stay calm. Break down those tasks or those problems into manageable tasks. We do this a lot in project management. In fact, this is one area whereby you are not even allowed to multitask in that sense, because we look at it as you must be able to solve one problem or complete a particular task before you move to the next one. This is also to stay away from errors and mistakes that might occur during a particular role. So in project management, you just have to focus on a particular task. You have a bigger problem at hand, you're breaking them down into manageable tasks. Then you're solving task A. When you complete it and you know that it is completed, you check it off and you move it to the done section of your mopboard. Then you move into the next task, and that's how you'll be able to complete or find solutions in bits and pieces to a very big problem that you have existing. I find these as very simple ways to tackle problem solving in the workplace. And with all of these soft skills that I've mentioned, it is a requirement. I will encourage every one of you to have these skills to be able to excel in your workplace. Like we talked about when we started, these are skills that can really not be measured, unlike the hard skills that you probably have your certification or your qualification and people know that, okay, you've done this course, you're on level 1 or level 2. There's a way in which that can be measured. But for soft skills, it's hard to measure, but you can learn them. So I'm encouraging you, if you want to thrive in the workplace, put it as part of your to-do list. Put it as part of the things that you want to enhance in your workplace. So look at the ones that you're lacking or ones that you need improvement and begin to tackle them by yourself. If this has been helpful to you, share this video to as many that you feel that will find it useful. Put a comment in the comment section if you find anyone useful, and if you know of any soft skill that you still think would be important for people to learn in the workplace, for them to thrive better, put it in the comment section and let's start a conversation from there. Thank you so much for watching. See you again in my next vlog. Bye guys.